Why they gotta do Joyner like that? If you go on Spotify and you look at the fans also like, the first artist it lists is Tom McDonald. Why they gotta do Joyner like that? Damn, they did him dirty. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Music Gauntlet channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and today we're going to be discussing the newest album from Joyner Lucas called ADHD. I mean, right off the bat, I have never seen an album released like this. Maybe it has been done before, but if it has, just correct me in the comments or something. But I have never seen an artist release almost every single from their album as promotional material. I think the only memory I have of that is 50 Cent with Animal Ambition, but even then, he did that really close to when he was dropping the album. Like, it was every week before the album dropped was a new single. Joyner Lucas has been building buzz for quite some time now, coming out of Massachusetts. I first heard about him when he released that one song about two friends. One ended up being just using him for killing him and having that gang credibility, and I also heard him on that Jumanji song with Busta Rhymes. I was instantly hooked on Joyner Lucas, but I wanted to see where he was going to go. Where was his career going to take him? In 2015, Joyner released his mixtape Along Came Joyner, and then followed that in 2017 with 508, 507, 2209. As much as I like projects like 508 and have great songs on them like Ultrasound, Keep It 100, and Just Like You, they definitely expose some chinks in Joyner's armor. He isn't scared to take risks, but that also can come down to making some corny songs like when he's talking from the perspective of his own dick. Despite all that, there was still a lot of anticipation for Joyner's debut album, and that anticipation got a little questionable when he released his first single in October of 2018, and then said the album was going to be released in segments, releasing the singles progressively as he went along until he felt comfortable to release the project as a whole. And here we are, in 2020, and the album has finally dropped, and I'm just gonna lay it down for you guys. The biggest gripe I have with this project is, if you're gonna do something like this, you cannot space it out this long because you're risking losing interest of your fans. Even if every single song he released was just straight flames, why would you want your audience to hear damn near every song on the project before it's even out? I get it, that was part of the concept. He was gonna release every single song and have a music video for it. I'm dumb for not knowing the concept, but no, because that just isn't a good concept. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Is this project bad? No. Is it good? I think that just comes down to how big of a Joyner Lucas fan you are, because someone like me that was impartial, I found this album to be pretty underwhelming and forgettable. What could have really helped this album if the songs we hadn't heard yet were some of the best songs on the album, but the songs we haven't heard yet are some of the worst songs on the entire album. The War with Young Thug is just Young Thug doing a really dumbed down Thugger Girls impression, and then Joyner Lucas for some reason trying to copy Young Thug. And Goldmine? Goldmine makes me laugh every time I hear it because of how blatantly he's trying to rip off Ty Dolla $ign. Finally is your pretty standard Joyner and Chris Brown collaboration, but I can comfortably say it is the worst one they've ever done, and Still Can't Love with King, OSF, and Fabulous. I can't even tell you what that sounds like because it was one of the most forgettable songs on the entire album. Even my favorite tracks from this album I have gripes with. Isis with Logic, like, yeah, it's a cool song and it has some cool instrumentals and they're both rapping their ass off to it a certain extent, but at the same time, it's just two people rapping. There's no concept to it. It's just two people rapping over some loud instrumentals. I like the beat and melody of the song ADHD, but it's still watered down by the fact that Joyner is punching below his belt with lyrics like La-di-da-di-da, kumbaya, and he's ripping off EXO Tour Life by Lil Uzi so hard. And then comes the biggest problem of all. No matter how much I liked Isis, or ADHD, or I Love, I was already burnt out of them by the time I listened to this album. By the time I listened to this album, I had already listened to those songs on repeat because Isis came out damn near a year ago. One of my favorite songs on this entire project is 10 Bands because it's so Timbaland inspired, and the way Joyner Lucas rides that beat, I just really like it. It's a really fun party song. But I played that song so much when I was just with some friends just hanging out that I'm just sick of hearing it. I'm the kind of person that likes to not hear singles before an album because I like to savor the album. Like for instance, The Weeknd's most recent album, I didn't listen to the song After Hours, only Blinding Lights and Heartless. The issue we have here is there was no album on the horizon. We had no idea when this album was coming out or whether these songs were going to be on it or not, so there was no point in just waiting for the album to come. Sure, I could have exercised some patience and waited for the album to come out, but I Love came out in 2018. I would have been waiting 2 years to hear this project in full. And I'm sorry, maybe to some people he has, but to me, despite 508, Joyner has not earned the respect for me to wait that long for a project. Given that this was his debut album by technicality, it kind of blows my mind that he was so comfortable releasing this. Because when this album isn't being forgettable, it's just being plain bad. I mean, Devil's Work, are you really gonna sit there and wish death on other people in exchange for the life of other people? Like, that's just not how this world works, buddy. And I get the excuses that he was drunk and that it was actually the Devil's Work. Yeah. It was still a really shoddy and poor done song. And I get the idea behind Will, having Will Smith be such an icon due to him having your same ethnicity and being so successful doing so many different things with their career. But that doesn't mean the song doesn't come off extremely lazy. That song legitimately sounds like it was recorded in a day by just IMDbing all the movies Will Smith was in. If you want to hear a bunch of references be made in a single song and have it be done well, then just listen to Headstone by Flatbush Zombies, and then tell me how you feel about this song. The last thing I wanted to talk about is ADHD as a concept, because I feel like that's going to be people's main deflection for this project. So the first skit is Joyner going in for his ADHD and seeing a psychiatrist, and having that psychiatrist basically tell him if he doesn't cooperate then he's going to be dumb for life. And then the ending skit is that same psychiatrist slipping him some drugs to help with his ADHD, of course ones that are legal and not prescribed. And I could see people saying, oh, it's all over the place, this album sounds so different and it has so many different sounds attached to it because it's ADHD, because he can't focus on one thing, and okay, but that doesn't make a great album. Just because you have like a harmony guitar-based song with Young Thug right after you have a hard, loud instrumental song while just rapping your ass off with Logic doesn't necessarily make the album better or even make sense. I would have loved to see Joyner go more into this idea of ADHD. How did it affect your upbringing? How does it affect your life now? But really the only instances we have of that are kind of I Lied, that little like ADHD explanation in ISIS, and Broken Stupid. And I guess you can count the self-titled song ADHD, but really only the hook is a testament to that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I get that he's talking about, like, I always feel like I'm dying on the inside, but at the same time, it just comes off like he's just ripping off that Uzi song all over again. So to sum everything up, this album was just half-assed. Like, I understand what he was trying to do, but the fact that he released every single song damn near before this project was released, on top of the songs overall just not being that great, it's just such a non-essential project that I don't see myself ever really coming back to. The problem with Joyner is the same problem I'm having with Logic. A lot of their flaws that showed up in the beginning of their career are manifesting into full-blown albums, and it's just not turning out well for them whatsoever. I'm not saying this is as bad as Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, but it just ended up being so subpar, and for Joyner Lucas, he can do so much better. The album's okay, I just don't see myself coming back to it anytime soon. My top 5 songs on the project, I would have to go with ISIS, and then we will do 10 Bands, Revenge, ADHD, and Broken Stupid. The way I'm rating albums on this project, I'm just going to be ranking them out of that artist's discography. That being said, I honestly rank this as the lowest Joyner Lucas album. It is below Along Came Joyner, and that is below 508. I think 508 so far is the best Joyner project, while ADHD is now his worst. But of course, this is all based on opinion, so let me guys know yours. Don't just come at me because you're a Joyner stan and you felt offended by this review. Explain yourself. Tell me why you think this is a great project, or maybe better than I thought it was. If you want to DM me on Instagram or Twitter, or maybe just at me, I'd love to talk about it with you there too. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys, and stay healthy out there. See you next time.